Right. So Dak's performance was so impressive, and he is working his way up the MVP discussion. He now has the third best odds behind Hurts and Mahomes. So that's why we're in the Friday film room, right? You love this so much. This is what you wanted to break down right off the bat.
Him and Mike McCarthy as dialed and really as spotless as you can play caller and quarterback wise. So everyone's going to talk about Dak's eyes. Can I move those papers?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Everyone's going to talk about Dak Prescott's eyes. Well, I want to talk about the different ways he's using his eyes. So first of all, the actual use of his eyes. Seattle's going to line up with two safeties when this ball is going to get just about snapped, okay? And what you're going to see is when the ball gets snapped, they're going to rotate down to one safety. Now, when you have one safety, Adams drops down, Diggs is going to go to the middle of the field. He has seam routes by his two inside guys. Now, landmark for CeeDee Lamb matters. CeeDee Lamb, top of the screen, he's got to get to the top of the numbers. Why? When you get one safety, you see Dak Prescott holding his eyes here. What he's trying to do is you want to take that safety one way or the other. He's taking him here and then throw that seam opposite where that safety's going. He's using his eyes as a weapon. This is why the landmark for CeeDee Lamb matters so much. Bringing this back, you can see there's a separation between the safety and the nickel corner about right now. What matters is the separation because of that landmark as Dak brings his eyes from here to here, resets, because you want to drift him in just to the middle of the field enough. Beautiful use of his eyes, moving that middle field safety to open CeeDee Lamb up. Now he's got to listen to his eyes. You're going to get the motion over to a tight end. We're going to get a 2 tight end set to the left side of the screen. Now what they're going to run is a very simple concept. It is called stick. We have a flat route, and then we have what we call a 5-yard out route. The read is number 1 to number 2. Now number 1's going to be taken away by the corner outside. Number 2, Dak Prescott peeks there, it's dead. The linebacker has matched that tight end. So then you have to trust that the back is going to get over the football for a little bit of a check down, right? Look at Dak. He is already staring at the check down before Dowdle gets out. He's listening to his eyes. Okay, the linebacker took it away, replaced the linebacker with a throw. So uses his eyes as a weapon, number 1. Listens to his eyes, number 2. Okay, now we want to go to trusting his eyes. You're going to get CeeDee Lamb to go over in motion, and you're trying to get him the football, right? You're trying to create a matchup to get him the ball out in space. You're going to get a go route on the outside. Okay, the go route is going to be essentially dead. That's an alert. What you really want is CeeDee Lamb as number 1, and then Brandon Cooks coming as number 2. That's number 1, that's number 2. Now you're going to go, Dak's going to peek there, and he's going to get off. Well, then you're sitting there, go CeeDee Lamb 1. No, he didn't. This is where the trust comes. I'm going to bring it back to the moment of contact, okay? When CeeDee Lamb gets met by that nickel, he's actually telling the quarterback, hey, I'm not open. I haven't won. I have not separated. You have to trust your eyes and get backside right now. You see how quickly he gets backside to Brandon Cooks? And this is why spacing matters on offense. Cooks has got to do a really good job of staying up the top of the numbers, so when Dak Prescott resets to really number 2, see that defender? If he gets too close to him, there's no play. Dak's got great eyes there. He trusts what his eyes are telling him, and the ball comes out to really a backside receiver. So I just loved, everyone's going to say, like, he was great with his eyes, but how? He used, one example, he uses his eyes to open CeeDee Lamb. Another example where he listens to his eyes. Like sometimes you force it, listen to what your eyes are telling you, dump the ball up to the back. That's the right decision. And then sometimes you got to trust them. The receiver might come open, but in the timing, you got to trust that that's your eyes are telling you, no, get off of it. Gets backside to Brandon Cooks. He was phenomenal.
And Hannah, Dan did a great job of breaking down these plays, but to me, the key has been Jake Ferguson. And going back to that first play that Dan broke down, when Seattle's looking at their game plan, they're saying, hey, we can't ignore Jake Ferguson. So not only the plays he created, like for a touchdown, but going back to Dan's first breakdown, that safety leaned to Ferguson. He created production for CeeDee Lamb. So the spacing of this offense is helped when you can attack the middle of the field. And when you get past the trading deadline, guys, you say, how do we get better? The solutions for the Dallas Cowboys are on campus. Luke Schoonmaker, Jake Ferguson, they're going to continue to get better, and they will have consequential impact on this offense.
The spacing of their offense is so much better than it was in the first month. It was terrible. It's so much better now.
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously made adjustments, and he is as comfortable as he has ever looked, Dak Prescott. All right, so the Cowboys defense stepped up down the stretch last night, but they did struggle early against Seattle, and this is going to be tough sledding for this unit because look at the gauntlet they have coming up. Very explosive offenses over their final 5 games. We are talking Philly, Buffalo, oh boy, Miami, we know all about them. Detroit, all inside the top 10 in the league in scoring offenses this year. Dallas has the second toughest remaining schedule according to ESPN analytics. So, do you have, Dan, concerns about Dallas's offense going into this stretch?
Offense, no. I think their offense is playing at a good level. Defense, yes. One, DeMarcus Lawrence was one of the reasons why they won the football game. 2 fourth-down stops, crucial. I would motion the absolute doors off of this defense right now. This defense cannot play at a high level when teams motion on offense, and it was ever so apparent again last night. 2-man surface at the bottom of our screen, Hannah. Okay, so then we motion to a 3-man surface. There's no adjustment by the defense. Now I got 3 guys into the boundary. No one runs with the motion man. The corner turns his back with the outside release. This is a flat route that goes for 13 yards. Teams are going to continue to challenge this team to communicate on the fly with the motion. That's one example. Second example, you're going to get another motion by this tight end. Now, they're lucky that this is an incompletion. You're going to see these defenders communicate and then run. Look how many guys run with the motion guy. 2 guys are going to run with the motion guy. The tight end in the middle of the field on the hash is uncovered, wide open by himself. Geno Smith happens to miss it, but that's another example of it. Again, motion outside, inside, now back outside. Again, 2 defenders are left covering absolutely nobody. DK Metcalf, the primary receiver for Seattle, is uncovered in the slot. Another easy completion that goes for 12 yards. And then the last one, near the goal line. Now, DK Metcalf is going to be the guy that scores here. But watch, you're going to get Lockett to cross motion, 2-man surface, 3-man surface. Again, watch the defenders for Dallas. Tell me how many are running with the motion guy. 2, who's uncovered? Jackson Smith and Jigba in the middle of the end zone. Now, again, he could have thrown it to him or DK Metcalf, who he does for a touchdown. But this Dallas defense, look at these numbers, okay? All other plays, if you don't motion on the right side, they're awesome. When you motion at the snap, meaning guy is moving when the ball's getting snapped,
I mean, so Dan, they have the Eagles coming up. I mean, they motion on less plays than any other team in the NFL.
They don't have to.
They don't have to, but that would portend well for Dallas, maybe?
But it would be ignorant if you're not Philadelphia to do it a little bit more.
A little bit more,
you have the evidence saying this team struggles with, so they're going to see it. If I know it, Hannah, I always say this, if I know it, they know it. So they are going to see it. Dan Quinn's defense will see it a ton for the remainder of this season.
And when you look at defending the run, my concern is Marquez Bell. So he went in to replace Leighton Vander Esch. He's small, he's undersized, and they've done such a great job of rushing the passer, playing with speed. But if a team's committed to the run, and maybe Nick Sirianni next week will do that, say, hey, we could shorten the game and attack them by running the ball like San Francisco did here, guys. The undersized aspect of their front 7 is a concern. So if a team can stay patient running the ball, first of all, you neutralize what they do best, which is rush the passer.
Yeah.
But I just think the physics of the front 7 and the size of it is a big concern. And the interesting variable to me is you got a guy like Shaq Leonard out there who's not the same player, but visited Dallas, took a visit.
So you think they should jump on Shaq Leonard, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though, Hannah, he's not the same player, but he's better than Marquez Bell, at least defending the run with inside the box.
Yeah, 28 years old.